Namaste everyone, and welcome to another of our afternoon QiGong sessions. So today I thought, again, we're still in winter, we're still overwintering, so it's quite a gentle practice. We're still supporting those lungs, and we'll work on just opening up the chest, opening up the arms. We've got a lot of meridians going through the hands and the arms, and just shaking off some of the tightness and the tensions that we can carry, especially in the shoulders around the winter if we're all hunched up. So without further ado, find somewhere comfortable, standing or seated, and you'll find the seated variations on YouTube as well. I can put a link in below and find what feels good. So we'll start as ever. We start with the same warm-up pretty much every week, some slight variations. Because it tells the body we're slowing, we're calming, it's getting it used to and ready for a slower, more restive time in your day. And it's also the opportunity to really flex all of those full range of motion of all of our joints. So let's go to the elbows, and even now you can be aware of your whole body, the four corners of your feet on the floor, slight dipping of the tailbone, so there's a bit of a softness in the knees. It's like lifting the crown for those of you with a more active practice. And then Qigong becomes just one whole body movement. Let's open up the shoulders. So again, let the upper arm bring the lower arms around. We can even start like this. We've got our immune points here, so we can already start to open up the shoulders and into the chest. I'm feeling some tightness, especially around the shoulders. We've had a lot of colder weather. We've got snow this morning, so I've been out for a short walk in the snow. Enjoy it all, wumping down, crunching through the snow. But it can mean I'm like this and backwards. Okay, let's just go again, just with the whole arms now. Let them lower arms be loose, and I tend to have a slight wave in my spine as I'm doing this. It's not compulsory, but I just like to find what feels good, and that feels good in this moment. Loosen up the spine a bit. Let's take out some more tension in them shoulders. The stalk spreads its feathers, so again we scoop round, palms come through, and we've got the palms facing outwards. And we're really relaxing, softening down the shoulder blades and the tops of the shoulders again. Really let gravity do the work. So we come to the position, and a bit like yin yoga, we just breathe into that space and let the body and gravity do the rest. And this time I'm going to hold. And you can imagine a line of opposition between the crown and the opposite fingers. And you can, if it feels good for you, gently roll the neck, which brings a slight opening on top of the shoulder. Always be careful with your neck, your body. It's all about full awareness and finding what feels good in your body. If there's pain or discomfort, never push through. Find that comfortable threshold. Sometimes we do lean into discomfort, but we're always aware of edging slowly and finding what feels good in this moment. Right, so let's go on. Warm up the hands a bit, warm up the heart, connect to the heart. Let's just centre, nice deep breath. And again, you can bring the crown of the head slightly tilted, tuck of the chin. This activates the parasympathetic system, slowing down, switching off that fight-flight response. Okay, let's just open up the back body a bit. We can just take the arms and push them out to the sides, and then stand more upright. So again, just to open up slightly into the arms, and back to centre. Really let the shoulder blades relax. To centre. Okay, let's go on to this hip and waist area. So we can just imagine your bottom half is centered in concrete. You go round and then 3 times the other way. And I'm feeling all 4 corners of my feet, or if you're seated, the sits bones, keeping that whole body awareness. And then we can add in a slight movement of the hips. It doesn't have to be extensive, just as if we're kind of rotating that tailbone around us that point. Keeping the spine quite straight. Just being in a bit of opening through the core. They say this is the belt channel. That's where most of the meridians in our body travel up and down through the body. We've got one channel that kind of kinches everything in the middle, holds it all together. So we're just bringing a bit of opening awareness to that space and to the core. So let's focus on the lower back, and you can just give it a bit of a rub. And what we're going to be doing today is you can take any tension or tightness out just down the sides. And back up. And again, before we knock on the door of life, just clear any tension or tightness. It's just rushing down the meridians of the body and then coming back to centre. Now this time what we're going to do is we're going to tap either side, and you can use the claw, so like your hands slightly cupped, or you can just with the flat palm, slight curve, like a dome in the palm, just tapping down that lower back body. And that can help take any tension or tightness out, and tapping just wakes up the body. It's another way other than stretching, waking up the hips. And again down. We'll have a bit more of a full body opener in a week or so, where we can really open into these leg muscles as well, but we'll ease in bit by bit each week. Okay, so let's just warm up the knees. Small circles one way. You can open up the ankles, and if you're barefoot like me, you can fully flex them toes, give them a bit of freedom, and then shake out any tension, any tightness. Just this wonderful opportunity to just be in the body, not overextending it, just meeting it where it's at. Gently opening it up. Okay, now this one's nice and grounding for those that you that are seated. Again, you can just track your hands down along and keeping if your feet are on the floor in the chair you're in, keeping full body awareness of the four corners of your feet with your sits bones. It's a nice grounding practice. For those with a more active practice, you can go for the full tiger squats. So we've got our tiger claws, hands coming down. I'm sure there is a more specific term for this one, which slightly escapes me, and that's okay. So it's just a cleansing, imagining leaves coming up through the gutter and then releasing. Find what feels good for you. You can go for a deeper squat if that works in your body. Always listening to your body, never pushing or overextending. Release. Okay, so hopefully we're nice and warm now. Let's knock on that door of life. Again, either side, but not directly on the spine. We're going to start imagining from just this inner kind of hip point. It's going to turn from one side to the other, keeping a nice kind of straightish spine. So we're giving the spinal vertebrae a bit of a twist and an opening, and then you can gently allow the hands to come and join you, but the hands are only following the momentum that's born of this movement here. You can have a slight lift in the crown, and that protects the neck a bit. Just opening gently. Again, meet your body where it's at today, especially with the neck. Really find what feels good in your body, best supporting yourself. These practices are about supporting our well-being and not pushing, distorting, overstretching. When I first started my yoga and qigong journey, I wanted to get to all the positions as deep as I could, and instead it's just meeting my body where it's at and taking it from there. So let's start with shake the tree. Let's release any tension or tightness and go to these immune points. So just a gentle bounce into the heels, and you can bring in that nice audible sigh with a ha sound. Really let them fingertips flex. This way you get to notice, scanning through the body, if there's any tension or tightness, any emotions you've been holding, just letting it out. You can imagine it washing out the fingers with the breath. The ha sound is the heart sound, so clearing anything that's being held here. And I've got to admit, when I'm having a tough time of it, I find myself unconsciously sighing a lot. The body's got a lot of wisdom when we slow down and we tap into that. So, talking about tapping, let's tap them immune points. So for those of you that are less well versed, so just following where the collarbone meets the shoulder pocket, 2 fingers below that, we've got our lung point, and we can just gently circle. I tend to slow my breath and bring my awareness like a light to the tips of my fingers into this point, just to bring some full awareness. They say where attention goes, energy flows. So I just imagine pouring light, pouring love into my immunity, giving thanks for all it does every day, keeping me boosted and safe from all that goes around, especially this time of year. And we can gently tap on that. Let's go to the other side. Collarbone meets the shoulder pocket, 2 fingers down. We do for roughly the same amount of time on each side, try and keep the body nice and balanced. Noticing the breath, again that awareness in the fingertips and in that point, imagining the whole immune system being lit up. Okay, slight tapping. Feeling a nice opening through my arms now. Okay. So, one final one just to open up the chest and settle down, deepen into the breath. Again, it activates the parasympathetic, it's spinal cord breathing. So we open and arch the back. So we're imagining them vertebrae opening the back body. Again, find what feels good. The thing I love about practices like this is how they empower us to start to learn, feel into our body, its needs. And we can start to chart our own course and supporting our health and our well-being. Headphone going AWOL. That's it. Keep opening. Open that chest. You can look up slightly again, keeping a slight lift in the crown. Really arching them vertebrae. And when you're ready, meet me back in the middle. And we get ready for the Wuji. So, for those of you less well versed, Wuji is our kind of starting point foundation posture. So this is they call it the art of effortless effort, this place of nothing. Wuji, Qigong is literally to energy work, to work the energy of our body, and that starts in our center, in our core, which is where they say the bodily energy is stored, and we're starting in that place, and then we let that flow through the body. So we come to this empty place, and from that emptiness, that stillness, that's the place we move from. The movement is coming from a more effortless place. So those of you that are seated, really feel the sits bones on the surface beneath you. Those standing, feel the 4 corners of your feet. A slight dipping of the tailbone, slight bend of the knees, so we've got a slight opening and waking through the legs, the foundation, our lower body, which is key in our Ji Ben Gong practice. We can let the shoulder blades soften, we can let the chin tuck and the crown lift. And we bring our awareness to our belly and our abdomen. So you can imagine, if your mind's quite active, stepping into a lift in your mind and it descending all the way down through the chest, the abdomen, and to settle like a pebble in the pond right in the lower abdomen. For me, it helps sometimes to imagine a light, a ball gently expanding and contracting, just to keep my mind anchored in the practice, to bring awareness to this place. And we start in Wuji, which is also to help us build a bit of energy, awareness, connection. So invite the breath to soften. letting the belly fully relax. We're not forcing it, but inviting the breath to land as slow, as deep, as wide in the body as feels right now. Don't have to change anything, just meet your body where it's at. Still aware of the whole body, a slight tuck of the chin. Aware of the palms of your hands with a slight expanding in them. Like that notion of stretching a drum skin just slightly, not overextending. So we've got awareness through the four corners of our feet, through the sits bones. Maybe you're feeling it in the hands, the shoulders. So the whole body awareness. And the breath is starting to slow and lengthen. If that feels right for you now. Concentrated like a ball of light in the lower abdomen. We surrender, we soften into this place. Just like the winter, we can ground and anchor in that darkness and that stillness and find restedness there. Just another 30 seconds. Full permission for the abdomen to relax, the shoulders to soften down the back body. Before we go into our flowing postures. So we start in our foundation, still in that Wuji position but the hands face down. We're imagining connecting to our foundation, whether that's the bones, the lower body, whether that's the earth, whatever that means to you, is connecting into that foundation. And that's the place we move from. So bring the palms to face each other for compress the pearl, so the palms come out. So lift, it's a movement from the shoulders, arms go wide to the sides. So we compress the pearl, like compressing that breath, that energy, right the way to the centre and then opening. We're never in Qigong, never. We're not in the full extent of our stretch, so we're not overly stretching. The aim is to still be slightly open and aware, but there's a gentleness, a flow to the a slight lift, a slight standing or a lift in the upper body for those seated, and then a contraction, a condensing, a compressing. It builds, you can imagine like a ball of light building with every repetition. With the breath you can breathe in and out to condense. Again. Final time. Allowing the breath to start supporting, guiding the movement. So we go into our next one, which is flying hands. So the hands trace up to the shoulder point, to the kidney area, the kidney point, and soften down. So we're connecting the abdomen, what they call the lower dantian, the lower energy centre, with the heart, the middle dantian. Nice and relaxed in the shoulders. When we reach the full extension, the wrists turn. Nice and relaxed in the shoulders. Again with the breath to breathe in to lift. You can have a pause here as we turn the hands. As we slow the movement. As we add in the pause between the inhale and the exhale, we allow space, quieting of the mind. As the breath slows, the mind slows, the body restores. And again, you can imagine tracing a ball of light up through the body, nourishing the body, the heart, the chest, and then out through the fingertips back to the core. Okay, so let's go to our opening the chest. So again, this one, there's a slight sinking and expansion as we come up. So palms face the floor, and the palms open up. It's kind of an arc. Nice and relaxed in the shoulders, we lift. Chest opens. So I imagine a lifting, whether from the tips of the toes, the core, both. And the condensing and compressing back to the foundation, the lower body. And there's still awareness through the hands, it's like cupping, stretching that drum skin, keeping awareness through the whole body. Final time. Okay, upholding the moon. So this one, if you're seated, standard or seated, you want to make sure you're keeping a straight line through the spine. For those of you that are seated, you'll just be hinging from the hips. For those of us that are standing, it's like bending the knees and it's like opening, it's opening slightly the back body. We've got our arms nice and rounded as if we're gathering the moon up. And then we're going to stand. Those palms are going to come to kind of chest, heart level, and we're going to turn them out. Again, the palms are still, there's still that slight dome in the palms. Up over the head. Round, and when they get to the sides, we drop the wrists and we scoop and we open up again in that back body. So I breathe in at this point, opening up that back body. Slight pause in the breath as I turn the palms, and then exhale. We can slow the movement, pause with each repetition. Just bringing all sorts of benefits to the body, to the mind. Calming, connecting with the breath. Nourishing our heart as our heart palms are crossed, it's connecting our heart meridian. Palms drop. And just bringing general opening to the front body. So a slight lift, slight lift in the palms. Never overstretch though on the Ji Ben Gong. We're nice and soft and supple. Let's do flying, swimming dragon. So we've got one palm facing up, one palm facing down. We're taking like two elevators, one's going up and one's going down. Shoulders nice and soft and relaxed. And then imagine around that middle finger turning a key in a lock. And the palms come back. Shoulders soft. Turn that middle finger key in a lock. And then for the breath, when we cross our palms, we breathe in. So we breathe in at this point. You can pause and hold if that feels good. Turn around that middle finger and then exhale. Inhale when the palms cross. Find your own rhythm and flow. Everyone's breath and body will be different. Still slight cup in the palms. And you can imagine a line of light washing through the spine. Like this one's supposed to be open up the spinal vertebrae, each spinal disc. A bit more space between each one, just bringing some opening, spaciousness. I find this one nice, especially if I've been seated for a long time. Final time. We switch hands and back to centre. Lovely. So this one, if you're standing, you can go into Mabu. Now Mabu is our wide-legged stance, and we do that by taking the feet, and we're going to go turn the toes out and take the heels out, and then we straighten up. Okay, so that's kind of our horse stance, a slightly wider stance. What we're going to do, I sometimes have my toes slightly out, find what feels comfortable for your knees. So we're in our squatting stance, we're doing diagonal flying, so we're imagining we've got like a ball in front of us. We've got the lower hand, palm facing up, up hand, palm facing down. I'm just going to turn to the side, come back to centre. Palms, throwing that frisbee, and back to centre. So it's like sinking the tailbone, lifting the crown. One more time to each side. Nice and soft in the shoulders. And then we can come back to centre. You can either shuffle, heel toe, you can have a gentle bounce back to centre, or bring the arms up to the chest and we turn, holding the moon. For cow gazes at the moon. So we're around the chest level again, shoulders are soft. Breathe in. You can imagine it's like pushing back of the stomach, the abdomen region. This one's supportive of digestive processes. The moon's also associated with water, the motion, like a cow, gently turning and gazing at the moon at night, or in the day. Again, awareness through the palms, finding your own rhythm and flow. Final time. And back to centre. We keep the arms in this position, and again we go to our Mabu, heel toe, to this stance. This time we're going to go for our bow and arrow. So we've got, how best to describe, right, so we've got this point, which is one of our acupressure points for our defences, that crosses, we extend to the fullness of our range of motion and back to centre. So we're going to start with a turn, our arms are rounded, we're going to turn. It's been a while since we've done this one. We're going to cross them points with our upper fingers up. Hibernate into winter and the mind hibernates too. And we turn, palms cross, and release. In this one you can imagine any goals, any hopes and dreams, and as we turn, we cast the arrow, we're sending them goals, them hopes, them dreams, and we let go. And we trust. And follow where the arrow leads us. Final time. Back to centre. And again we find that wuji. Slight tuck of the chin, lift of the crown, gentle softness in the knees. We're going to come back to centre, and so let's draw down the heavens. Imagine purple light washing and scanning through the whole body. Again. Purple light washing and scanning. At the rate of your own breath. Final time, purple light. Whole body is relaxed, heavy, soft. Palms come to the abdomen, back to our wuji posture, finding that comfortable place. Bring the hands together, and slightly centre over our core, our abdomen. Bringing together the fruits of our practice. You can bring the legs together for those of us that are standing. Those that are seated, just sinking into them sits bones, like lifting the crown. And then this one's called Bamboo Sways in the Wind, or Pine in the Wind. So noticing all four corners of your feet, noticing your sits bones for those that are seated, and allowing the body to gently rock and sway like bamboo in the wind. Supple, flexible, open. There's an alertness but a relaxation all at the same time. Noticing where the breath's landing in the body. You can bring awareness to any areas that might still have tension or tightness, noticing how you feel compared to the start of your practice. Giving thanks to yourself for taking this time out for you, for your body. And then we can take the legs slightly wider apart. Another rub, finishing where we started in our core, in our centre. Breathing in. And release with an audible sigh. Namaste everyone. Thank you for joining. I hope you've enjoyed today's practice. Please feel free to like, share, subscribe to anyone that might be interested, and we'll grow the community. So take care, and I will see you same time next week. Until then, bye for now, and feel free to comment if you've got any ideas for the practices in the upcoming year or any questions. Take care everyone. Bye for now.